right. Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So let's go ahead and jump on into this storytelling, shall we? I feel like, well, this is a single storyline, which I always try to put these guys out on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And obviously, today is Thursday because there was just too much going on in my life yesterday. So better late than never, but let's jump on into this one now, shall we? I want to see what's the overarching message. How do we begin this story? Grandpa's lessons. He emphasizes the importance of being polite, courteous, and principled. That's a really nice way to start. This, to me, this is starting to look like we've got somebody thinking back to like a patriarch of a family. They're thinking back to something that they learned when they were a child. Maybe they're seeking guidance either through a memory. This could be a divine masculine who's thinking back to the patriarchal lineage of their family, saying, you know what, I really respect my granddad, or I really respect the what times were like back in their day, and during a moment of conflict, how how would my grandpa have behaved, or what would make them proud of me as a divine masculine. I feel like this is a really beautiful way to look at a lineage of strength, not a lineage of like, oh, the negative traits that we inherit, or negative family patterns, but rather looking to someone for guidance, for wisdom, for inspiration, for mentorship. Now maybe somebody's like grandfather is still alive, and it doesn't have to be a masculine. It's just that this feels more like a patriarchal line of strength. I oftentimes think of mountains like grandfathers, like this big, wise, old, hulking mass that sits there and is kind of like it shelters us from the winds, or it's a place of, solace and peace and strength during troubled times. And so I'm just wondering if our single individual is maybe looking at, I could use a little bit of shelter, a little bit of guidance, a little bit of support, and a little bit of inspiration right now. But we have a nice, strong, divine masculine energy on this, which is really nice to see. Oh, thank you so much, Natalie. You are so, so, so incredibly kind. Thank you. Dwanette, thank you. You guys are so generous. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your kindness. Hi, Emily. Wonderful to see you as always. Thank you, guys. You're so warm and so wonderful, and it absolutely fills my heart. Thank you for your generous donations of both tangible things and then also the energy that you bring to my channel. My channel is what it is because you guys are here. So thank you for making like the best community ever. All right, let's get back to our story. Hey, Brad, good to see you, honey. So grandpa's lesson. I like this. I like the way we're starting with. By the way, this is another one of the decks from Street Priestess. I had to buy another one because I really like her art. I just think it's so strong, so beautiful. Let's go ahead and see where this is going to take us. We have a Two of Cups. Our single character could be looking for advice from a grandparent about a very important choice. Maybe this is someone who was married for 60 years and they're asking themselves, what makes a long-lasting relationship? What is it that makes a twin flame relationship not just be one of, trials, tribulations, and struggles, but rather, how do you choose the right person first time around and then build a legacy with them? This is about long-lasting love. This could be a single divine masculine who is really contemplating, meaning they're probably in a really mature mindset if they are contemplating like maybe they got the passion of youth out of their system a little bit. They've looked around the world a little bit. They've met somebody that captured their heart that they know doesn't feel like others. Maybe they're thinking, boy, I wish I could introduce someone to my grandfather, or maybe I'm just wondering what my grandfather would say about these emotions that I'm having for someone. Just because we're dealing with a single character does not mean that they aren't in love with someone. In this storyline, we have a Princess of Discs. They have not made someone their person yet, but they're thinking heavily about this. And I really feel as if they are gravitating toward what would grandpa say. Now, this could be a divine feminine who's like, God, I wish I could sit with grandpa because they were such a shining example of like strength and masculine power of the best variety, right? Kindness and protective and wise and all those things. I feel like right now we could be talking about a divine feminine who wishes they could ask grandpa a piece of advice. Hold on, let's go back to that original deck. Let's get one more, because I feel like this is all about someone doing some deep thought, very mature thought processes. We have artist. Express your culture through art and bring your attention to your craft and talent. This could be a divine feminine who is like, part of their art could be wrapped up in, how do I say this? As an artist, they find different ways to express themselves, right? We see somebody who could be a salon stylist, they could be a tattoo artist, they could be involved in the fashion industry, they could be doing things that are very visible, and yet their art actually is motivated by a place of like deep introspective thoughts. And part of the energy right now that is inspiring them, like maybe this is a hairstylist who's doing a lot of hair for different brides, and it's got them really thinking deep thoughts about, when do I meet the person that matches me? What would my grandfather's advice be on how to attract the right person for me as I do hair for other brides that are getting married? Or if I'm a tattoo artist and I'm doing tattoos or getting a tattoo of my own or creating art, but secretly deep down, some of this is going to be motivated by the single person's thought process about long-term relationships. I feel like this person could either be doing like a tribute to someone in their family through their art, or simply the inspiration that they have is connected to this concept of long lasting, powerful bonds and relationships. And they are turning that into some kind of possibly a real money making industry. Like sometimes our best work comes from our innermost motivations, but not everybody understands what our innermost motivations are. This character does, but I feel like they're keeping it to themselves. But it's like they want a little bit of additional inspiration. If only they could talk to that grandfather, or they're building their art around this concept, the principles of politeness and courteousness and all of these aspects, but also longevity. What is integrity? All of that is wrapped up in this somehow, some way. And there's like multiple threads of this story, because I think we're dealing with, our single character is motivated by a lot of thoughts deep within themselves right now. And it's coming through their art, but it's really where their mentality is at. That's what this story is about. We're seeing the innermost workings of someone's mind, what's inspiring them, what is making them think about life and question things. Oh, we have a Four of Cups. This is, our lead character is taking stock of their life right now. Now, we are approaching a full moon, a super moon on August 30th. They could be really doing some deep thinking because they feel a gravitational pull to looking at the most meaningful connections in life, looking for inspiration in life, asking themselves, do I have any regrets about, when I get to be the age of my grandparents, or the age that they lived to? I wonder what regrets they had. Did they have any? What did they learn? What have I learned? How would I do things different? Because I don't want to have regrets. Maybe that was an important lesson that a grandparent instilled upon this person, is don't leave things unspoken that need to be spoken. And I feel like right now our character is feeling very called to think about those things. Three of Cups. Our character may really need to talk to someone that they either want to have a renewed conversation with, or they're thinking about meeting someone new, dating somebody new. They want a long-term relationship. This single character, to put it simply, the single character wants a long-term relationship, but they want one that works. Their mind, their art, their work, everything is gravitating toward thinking about this in a very serious concept. And the first thing that they're addressing is maybe what hasn't worked out. What regrets do I have? Have I always spoken my full truth to people I've cared about? I'm thinking that there might be one person on our single character's mind, because we've got a Queen of Cups in the reverse, and we have a Three of Pentacles in the reverse. I think our character is saying, I still feel like now is the time that I might need to address and get some kind of closure with someone that maybe I did think that they could have been my forever person and something didn't work out. Might have been a long time ago, but it remains on my mind. What would my grandfather say? Clean up the things that, were unsatisfying in our lives, so that we don't have those as regrets, as we, sometimes we don't get a chance to reconnect with someone because we let so many years pass that, we all have an expiration date stamped somewhere within us, right? We're not immortal. So there are times in life that we might run out of opportunities to have that final conversation that we needed to get closure with someone. And because I think this character is really connected right now to addressing anything that they are dissatisfied with in their own life, either because they want to reconnect with someone from their past, or they simply want a nice closure. They don't want hard feelings. They don't want bitterness. They don't want anything that's going to drag down their opportunities to be able to start fresh with somebody new. And I feel like there's unfinished, dissatisfied energy here with a person that things didn't work out with. And they're reflecting very heavily. Why are they reflecting on this so heavily right now? Is it because of the moon? Is it because they're thinking about grandparents? Is it because they're an artist? What is drawing their mind here? Four of Pentacles in the reverse, Hangman in the reverse. Well, Piscean energy here. Something about, maybe it's a whole retrograde energy, but they are thinking about, now is the time for me to lighten my load. Now is the time for me to release hard feelings. Now is the time for me to let go of things that have still been sitting like a lump in my chest. Because it's heavy. It's a heavy burden to carry forward. I like the fact that a character is determined to unburden themselves. Two of Swords. The only question is, how do I do it? And they think of two different ways to approach. They're thinking, do I need to unburden it just spiritually? By thinking through something and maybe symbolically around the full moon, do something to release? Or do I need to actually take action and do something? Because here we have, we're in front of the moon, here we're in front of the sun. Do I take action in the light of day and maybe contact that person or send them a message to give closure for myself and them? Or do I just do some spiritual release? And I think this character can't quite decide which it is. What do I need to do? But it's very much about releasing. You got the Fool in the reverse. Yeah, they don't have an answer yet. So they're doing nothing right now other than thinking. And I want to say that the character we are discussing right now is someone who, they have a different perspective on life. They approach problems in life differently because they are artistic. And it doesn't have to be something as simple, or not that it's simple, but it doesn't have to be something as visual, I'll say, as like they're a hairstylist. They could be someone who uses a creative spark in any aspect of their life. They redecorate their bedroom every, month or something to reflect a different mood or something like that. They may not be paid to be an interior designer. Maybe they work a 9-to-5 job at a grocery store, but still that doesn't change the fact that they are an artist, and the way they cultivate change and think about things is through this artistic energy. And I think that they're looking at, I have something inside of me that I know bothers me still, and it's about a connection that didn't work out. And as long as I carry that with me, what would my grandfather say? What would my elders say? They would say, handle the things that continue to bother you. When there's a time, if you need to face somebody, face them before that opportunity is gone. Face the people in life that we need to gain closure, or to express ourselves, or to say sorry and make our amends, so that we don't have to carry that burden into the next life with us. And I really think that there's all this creative energy that keeps they're continuously trying to solve, what am I guided to do right now? They still don't have clear answers yet. They only know pieces of what they're feeling compelled to do. But with the Fool card in the reverse and the Two of Swords prior to that, it says, I don't know. Am I guided to speak to this person again, or am I guided to spiritually release? Let's see if we're going to get an answer here. I love this because I think, although this is not my personal story, I can say I have been at crossroads like that in my life, where I'm like, I don't know what I need to do to lighten this. What action must I take? Because sometimes I can't let go of something until I figure out what I need to do first. And I can say that I've been at a crossroads like that before, probably more than once. And I'm curious to see what happens with this character. We have the Empress in the reverse. So this is a really great message, because remember, I'm saying, are they going to get an answer? They're not, if they're in the Empress in the reverse energy, they'll stay a little stuck. Okay, so we got to go into what would Empress do, right? An Empress's energy is one of, I don't lower myself to chase things around that have caused me intentional harm. And I keep coming back to say, look, you've caused me intentional harm, but I need to tell you that I forgive you. An Empress is probably not going to waste their precious energy chasing around someone who has intentionally caused them pain or grief. An Empress in the reverse might do that because they feel like, no, I need to get closure by being the bigger person, by forgiving, when in fact it's like, no, no, no. The lesson is, you don't come near me again. I put up boundaries. I've had quite enough of that. You need to go work on yourself. The Empress's energy is to call it like it is. Yes, they act with love, but they also have a ton of the Empress is the ultimate mama energy. Masculine or feminine is irrelevant. I don't read for genders, but an Empress energy is not just like a mom tells a kid there's consequences for your actions. You're now grounded, or you're not going out to play with your friends because you didn't do the things that were expected of you. You didn't uphold the Empress. A mother figure teaches kids what to expect in the real world: accountability, respect, self-confidence also. But how do you build self-confidence? By doing what is expected of you, helping them to say, believe in yourself, you can achieve more. I totally believe you can do this. Even if it's out of their realm for really being successful at it right away, still the confidence that I know you can do this. Use your brain, put all your energy into it, go as hard as you can. And even if you fall short of it, know that you really, you gave it all you got. That's amazing. And a mother figure, at least in my mind, the ultimate Empress is somebody who gives confidence by having high expectations, but also gives unconditional love. But the flip side of it is they are not going to support somebody that is lying through their teeth and pretending they're doing something when they're like, what do you mean? You didn't even put any effort in. Go back and go put some effort in before I'm going to clap for you. You don't get a trophy for doing nothing. I'm not rewarding and lying to you and telling you that you did good when you did jack. Like, an Empress is going to give it to you straight. So here's the thing. If this person is in the reverse and they're thinking that they need to get closure, they're going to choose the wrong path until they Empress up and they go, wait a minute, remember I'm highly valuable. Remember that I have lines of truth. So how now do I get closure? What do I need to do with someone that I still feel something didn't work out and it bothers me? Let me ask myself more important questions if we're going to Empress up. Am I bothered because they treated me like crap and it wasn't right? Then I don't need closure. I need to admit that person was crappy. They are the problem, not I. I don't need closure from them. I need them out of my life, and I'm glad that they're not in my life, and I need to just move on. Or is it maybe I was not feeling my best? Maybe I was clinging to someone because I personally didn't really have my worth in order. Let me look at myself and say, wait a minute, the closure that I need is to actually feel good enough in myself that I see the entire situation through a new, fresh set of eyes. And it's not about like, oh, they did me wrong and now I can see it. It's not that. It's until our character can ask themselves honestly, am I in my strongest vibe? Do I have confidence? Do I believe in me? Am I looking at this situation from the highest perspective and evaluating it fairly? Did this person match my energy? Are they somebody that did they really bring anything to the table that I genuinely wanted? Or was it wrong from the beginning, but I wanted so much for them to fulfill all the things I wanted, when in fact, maybe I was picking the wrong person. It's like, I wanted to drive a sports car, but instead I bought a bicycle. Am I mad at the bike because it couldn't fulfill me? No, it's like, well, I bought a bicycle when I said I wanted a sports car. That might have been the distinction here. And if our character hasn't yet recognized the reason I walked away unsatisfied is because they weren't the sports car that I wanted. Yeah, but you bought a bike. You knew what you bought. Be honest about it. You might have picked somebody that wasn't a sports car. I'm not saying this is what this character did. I'm just saying it takes a lot of courage, I think, to be that realistic in our mindset, because we got to be accountable, and an Empress is always going to be accountable. so that they're not heaping blame on any person, but they're also accepting, what did I choose? How did I see this? And I just feel like our character, they're so wise right now because they're looking at it saying, how do I get closure? What do I need to do? Oh, I need to look at me first. Okay, I can do that. Straight up, I can do that. She's super close to having this breakthrough. I love this one. I feel like, and let me tell you, I had to do that before too. Be like, wait a minute, maybe I did know better. Maybe I picked wrong. Maybe I expected something that I knew darn well wasn't going to provide the happiness that I wanted. So then boo hoo, I was all upset that I didn't get what I wanted. Well, yeah, it's because I picked wrong to begin with and I knew it, but I didn't acknowledge it. Sometimes I've had to pull myself up short and recognize, oh, Kate, that was you. That was on you. That one's on you. We've got a King of Cups in the reverse. I really think, and please forgive me, I know this is a harsh message, but I really think that she's acknowledging that she might have been choosing, maybe she wanted somebody like whatever she saw her grandparents have. She wanted a respectful, long-lasting, amazing connection. And she chose somebody that didn't have that mindset as well. They weren't that long-lasting, love-oriented, emotionally available individual. And I think she's about to have that breakthrough. The reason I was dissatisfied is because I started out with the bicycle when I wanted the sports car. That's what this was all about. So the only disappointment really was my selection process. Not the person, but my selection. Fool in the reverse. I shouldn't have gone toward that. I shouldn't have picked the bicycle. Okay, we're getting a lot clearer now. So interesting how this is not to say, see, it was all her fault. No, because people can lie and pretend to be, sports cars when they're only bicycles and you don't know it at first, right? But remember, our character is taking full responsibility of everything because she wants to be able to let go of a disappointment. So how do you let go of a disappointment? How do you turn it over in your head until you see it with clear eyes? And I think she's discovered the answer here. And maybe it is because she's thinking maybe this grandfather gave really good advice of, well, darling, who were you in the situation? Did you pick somebody? And he might have, were they polite to you? Did they treat you with respect right out of the gate? Did you see strong principles, or did you see somebody that was a bit of a liar and you're like, wait a second, they're lying about little details to other people. I watch them do it. What would make me think that they wouldn't lie to me too? Wait, maybe I'm wanting someone to be this upstanding, principled person. And they're showing me point blank that they aren't. So can it be a big shock if it turns out they're not principled and they're not loving and they're not the person that I want them to be? No, because they probably, the grandpa's lesson is, I guess, more of like Maya Angelou's message of when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And I just think that this is just a very simple, it's ultimately a simple message. But I think our character has just thought through it. I think that they are to the point where they are able to release a deep disappointment. And I think it's going to help them on this journey to actually finding that long lasting, amazing relationship. And part of it is they also realize the Princess of Discs got to start slow. And the first way somebody treats us, it's probably the best way they're ever going to treat us because they're not comfortable with us yet. So it's like when you first start to engage with somebody, notice the red flags right out of the gate. And if there's something we don't like, come on, she's literally dressed in red. If they're showing us nothing but red right out of the gate, maybe that's not where we want to try planting seeds of a fruitful relationship. I just think that our lead character here, although they are single, they are in this mindset where I want to tidy up my world, my thought processes before I engage in the next relationship. And that means I need to first unburden myself from the previous disappointment. And that means I got to think through it because I want that long lasting, amazing connection that maybe I dream of having. I want to get, sit beside my favorite person in our rocking chairs one day. So how do I choose the person that I still could see myself with in a rocking chair? That's what this whole single storyline has been about. It's evaluating what makes a relationship work by first evaluating what didn't work in a very specific previous connection. I think our character has solved it. I think that they got to the bottom of it. Let's get one last card. Any final messages here? 8 of Swords. It was all the things that they couldn't see before. They might be realizing that I was a little stuck. I saw beautiful orchids. Instead of saying I saw it with rose-colored glasses, it might just be I saw nothing but beauty and the opportunity that I could have had to build something amazing with a person if only they could get, on the same page with me. When in fact that she was being blocked. She was being stuck. She kind of, I mean, for lack of a better way to say it, she held on to the fantasy of what could have been instead of being a realist and seeing what it really truly was. And that's where the disappointment was lingering, and that was producing a blockage. So I like this story because in the gentlest of ways, it is saying everything that she chose, but that's also where the power is. Oh, I picked it. Why did I choose that? Oh, I didn't see it that way before. Okay, now that I see it different, I've learned something about myself. I've learned something about how to choose better. I've learned my lessons, and I'm in control of who I pick. I was always in control of who I pick and why, but I'm more cognizant now of what I'm looking for, what's my criteria like. So I think moving forward, our single person, I really think that they are clearing out old stuck energy in the best of ways. I think they're headed for something very successful from here on out because it contemplated the right questions, or at least for this storyline, I would say that they did. I don't know. I dug this one. I think that was certainly a lot to chew on and chew through and contemplate, does that have merit? Does it not? But I liked it. You guys, thank you everybody so much for being here. I am absolutely delighted that you guys choose to pop by and say hi. All right, everybody, have a beautiful afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and get some of the other zodiacs done today because I was unable to do anything yesterday. It was such a crazy day, but that's how it goes sometimes. Oh, Danita, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Nick Too Quick, always great to see you. How are you? My pleasure, Emily. Namaste. Thank you again, Fawnette. Thank you. And Natalie, always thank you, sweetheart. You guys are so kind. So kind. Hey, Delinda. Hey, EJ. Ms. Hermit in the house. Oh, excuse me, EM. I'm sorry. I blended AJ, EM together. But Ms. Hermit, always good to see you, sweetie. Victor Sedona, how are you? Good to see you. Brad Kraft, have a great afternoon, you guys. Hey, Swan. Paula Mick or MC? Paula, are you an MC? That's awesome. Hey, Summerland. Oh, hi, Sam. I haven't said hi to you in ages. Jessica, always great to see you, honey. All right, you guys, have a beautiful afternoon. I will see some of you in some of the zodiacs. I'm going to try really hard to get to at least 6 or 7 of them today, probably to this afternoon and then tonight as well. I'll come back and do a few more. So, bye, everybody. Take care. See you in a bit.